Hello everyone, this Python tutorial shall continue learning more about data types. In this tutorial we shall majorly focus on tuples. A tuple is similar to a list, but the difference between them is that a tuple is immutable while a list is mutable. A tuple can't be modified once you have created it, but a list can be modified once it is created. So to create a tuple, we place all the elements in parentheses separated by commas. So I'm going to first create my data. I open parentheses. I'll enter values like name, comma, class, comma, and age. And I will want to create another type of my data too, equaling to name, three, 4 something, true value. What I'm trying to show here, a tuple can store values of different data types. Like in this case, it is storing strings only. In my second tuple I have strings. This is an integer. Also this is an integer. This is a float. This is a boolean data type. Meaning we can create a tuple storing different types of data. Can even create a nested tuple. I'm going to say nested data underscore data is equal to open parentheses. I will just copy my worker here, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and then I can put the list, put like mangoes, orange, and true. So this is a nested tuple. As you see, I have a main tuple. Inside it I've created the list. So I'm going to first create my another tuple. This is my data 3. My data 3 is equal to open parentheses, I say name. So like this is a tuple containing only a single element, but when you run Python interpreter, I will just take this one as a string. So if you want to create a tuple of a single element, you must include a comma sign at the end. Now this is a tuple. If I had not included this comma at the end, this would have just been a string but not a tuple that type. So I can print my values, print my data, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, Ctrl V, Ctrl V. I have my data 2, my data 3, and nested data. As you see, they have been able. As you see, I've been able to print them onto my console. So that's how we created tuple. How do we access tuple elements? We can use indexes. To access tuple elements, as we learned in the last lecture, the first element is at index 0, the second element is at index 1, and the third element is at index 2. If we try to access, like in this example I have 0, 1, 2. If I try to access like 3, I will get an index error telling me it's out of range. And when we are accessing elements, we use integers like index 0, index 1, index 2. If I try to use a float type, I will get a type error. I'm going to comment out these ones. So I'm using my data. Let me also comment out this one, and I use my data, this first example. So we access indexes by using square brackets, and we put our index. If I put like index 0, it should be printing out only name, because the name is at index 0 in my first example of my data. If I want to access like class, just press a 1 and class will be printed. If I put like a 3, I will get an index error, tuple index out of range, because I have only 0, 1, 2 and 3 is out of range. It's an index error. You can also use negative indexes. If I use negative 1, I will be able to print edge. This will start from last, negative 1, negative 2 and negative 3. To access elements in a nested tuple, I'm going to first comment out this one. Let me print nested data. I will use I'll use double indexes. So if I say like 0, 1, 2, that is at 2. My list is at index 2. I will put another index to access elements in this element. Mangoes at index 0, so if I enter 0, I will be able to print out mangoes. These two represents, this is 0, 1 and 2. My list is at index 2. Then if I'm 2, I will create another square brackets to access elements in the list. Mangoes at index 0. So that's how we access elements in a nested tuple. As we learned before, a tuple is immutable, meaning we can't change values in a tuple. If I try to change values in a tuple, I will get an error, because a type error, because tuple values in a tuple can't be modified. But since this one is like an index, I can change values in a list, because the list is immutable. So I'm going to try nested data. I will put 2. I'm going to try change values in a list to 0 equals to. Now mangoes, I will change mangoes to like fruits. If I print out, print nested data, you see mangoes have been removed, and I've replaced the mangoes with fruits. meaning a list can be modified